Of sculptures of Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln watch over the eastern slope of the Black Hills carved in granite and attract nearly 15 million people a year. But just an hour south of Mount Rushmore is another national treasure that only gets a fraction of Mount Rushmore's visitors each year. Wind Cave National Park. Most of the 500,000 people that visit Wind Cave every year come to see this. Its namesake cave system and rare subterranean formations called boxwork. But as we're about to find out, Wind Cave National Park above the surface is an amazing place to explore.
Hey, how's it going?
We met up with two motion guest hikers, Rick and Robin Rath from Pennsylvania at the Park Visitor Center. Parents of quadruplets, they didn't get a whole lot of time to travel after the kids were born, which made the way they found out they were coming with us so special.
Kristen, our daughter, decided it would be fun if we were as a guest on the Motion. So she wrote in without our knowledge and asked if we could be on the show, and then they all got together at a surprise birthday party, but the surprise was on us as everybody gathered, and they informed us that we had won a trip to South Dakota to be with Motion.
Get your bodies in motion. Remember the show Motion?
Yeah, I know.
You with me so far?
Great.
And his crew on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to beautiful South Dakota National Park. When I arrived on the scene,
we never thought ourselves of signing up to be a guest hiker on Motion. I'll be honest, it didn't cross our minds. But the fact that our daughter Kristen took it upon herself and kind of surprised us, where she wrote into, wrote into Motion and actually got us, this trip was fantastic.
The Lakota Sioux Native Americans that used to live free in the Black Hills spoke of a hole in the earth that blew air long ago. Wind Cave got its name from that original hole in the ground that blows air out of the cave when atmospheric conditions are just right. In 1881, two brothers were the first settlers to discover the cave system, and after failed attempts to mine it for gold, Wind Cave was turned into a tourist attraction. Today, the cave is managed by the National Park Service, and we couldn't wait to get our first look into the dark world below.
Going into the cave, for the first time, you didn't think you were going to be jumping into an elevator. I'm kind of glad we did, because I'd be really tired by the time we got down to the bottom. But you're going down 200 feet, which is kind of cool in itself.
When the elevator doors opened, it really sank in. We were 200 feet below the surface and about to enter a bizarre network of tunnels and passageways. As we walked into the first large room of the cave, we quickly learned why this is such an incredible place.
All right, there's not a lot of great light in here, but if you're in here, the accents are pretty cool. The fact that we took an elevator and we're 200 feet underground where we started right now. I mean, talk about exploration. If you knew what you were doing, this would probably be a pretty fun place to do it.
Walking into the room for the first time, you look up and it was just, you'd see all the popcorn, as Mike called it, just hanging down from the water vapors, and it was just magical. It was something I've never thought I'd ever see.
This is some of the cave popcorn right here, and that is still forming. In really wet caves, there'd be a lot of water dripping in, it'd be stalactites. Right. But in relatively dry caves like Wind Cave, there's still stuff happening. This is still, there's still water coming in, but it's just oozing out through the tiny little pores in the rock itself. That process is still going on.
Wind Cave is best known for this, a calcite formation called boxwork, a delicate latticework that covers much of the walls and ceiling of Wind Cave. 95% of the world's discovered boxwork is found in this cave system. Unlike stalactites that hang from other cave ceilings, boxwork is formed when moisture seeps through small cracks in the limestone instead of drips from the cave tops with more water runoff. These formations have taken millions of years to form, making the inside of Wind Cave extremely fragile. Our ranger made sure we stayed on the well-lit and marked trails to safely enjoy this surreal setting.
Well, as you walk through the cave and you're going through all these little different passageways and catacombs or whatever, you know, Greg and I and Robin were kind of looking around, and you could just see, you had limited lighting, so you could only see so far. But I mean, some of these openings and crevices, I mean, they would go 30, 40 feet, and you didn't know where they ended or if they did end.
Wind Cave is actually a giant maze of caves, cracks, and corridors, not just one large cave. Each year, about 4 more miles of this cave system are explored, with the total underground mileage of the cave discovered so far at 137 miles, making it the 5th largest cave in the world.
Anytime you hear of a place that's not explored, or it's only a fraction of explored, it just makes you want, you know, there's very few places like that left on the planet, you know.
Right.
Definitely.
You know, it's almost a tease because it does sort of prompt that exploration urge,
Exactly.
doesn't it? And here we are in Pathways, and you're just telling us where to go. But, you know, I get it. It's a delicate environment. But it kind of makes you want to take up caving. It's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. You know, like you said, all this is lit up, but if you're out there caving, nothing's lit. You're just crawling around.
Yeah, there would be a whole different deal because you might feel confined when you know, if you could see more, you realize these huge rooms open up, you know.
Once we settled into the delicate beauty and expansiveness of the rooms and passageways here, we got why this is the main reason people come to Wind Cave National Park. But we also knew there was about 34,000 acres of rolling hills, mixed grasslands, and top-notch wildlife to see back on top, which is where we're headed next. We explore the wide-open beauty of Wind Cave National Park on the road less traveled. Then, a hike to a remote corner of the park pays off big as we get close to a very shy herd of elk when motion returns.
If you're between the ages of 40 and 85, call 1-800-648-1100 now to find out more about Funeral Advantage. The average funeral costs over $9,000. Government benefits will pay your family only $255. That's right, $255, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. Call now to learn how Funeral Advantage helps protect your loved ones. It pays up to $20,000 cash immediately for funeral and any other expenses. You must be age 40 to 85 to qualify. It's easy. No physical examination is necessary. And coverage starts as soon as you're accepted. To get free information about Funeral Advantage, call 1-800-648-1100 now. You'll have lifetime coverage, and by starting now, you'll get the lowest rate. With Funeral Advantage, your benefits will never decrease, and your plan cannot be canceled. You'll also get a free